0.7 watts per kilogram. Marcel Smithers, it's going to be Kutzbertson. Gino's there as well. Penner to the line. Gallegos, 13 watts per kilogram. Least Gallegos looking to take this down. Will Penner get her at the line? No, it's Gallegos. Now it's Harris. Harris goes first. 11 watts per kilogram. I think it's too late. Over the top. Mika Soderstrom trying to make it happen. Gallegos right at the line, but no. Lucy Harris makes it happen.
Speed Potatoes didn't leave a crumb on the table out here today, and now it's going to be the Polish sensation.
Well, I don't know if Sirski timed that correctly. He backed off. He should have kept on going, but did Don time it? Don, but he got it around the line. Nice one by Leah and the restart team to take down that spin cast Preem.
The leg snapper, this is Ed Laverick's wheelhouse.
Laverick has to hold on. He's probably giving everything up at the line. No way. It's actually going to be the show.
Gentlemen, Gabby Garrett taking the win here in week 2 of Prestige Series. Andy Gino. So Gino's going to hit out first. That's going to be the first play for second place.
He makes the kick up and over the top. Elise Gallegos showing she's one of the best sprinters. Seconds into the shots. Look at the strength.
2 dogs fighting for a bone, and the third one took it. Yep, there you go.
Did our man with the big jump gets the jump on Malore? Is he going to be able to hold on? He tries to get the jump on Malore. Malore, though, he may have timed it just perfectly. Jeff Malore.
Come on, Thomas.
Malore to the line. Thomas Nelson, Malore, but it's going to be Jeffrey Malore. Malore takes it down. Welcome everybody to Prestige race number 4, and super excited to get things going here again with all of you. And if you're just joining us, there were 3 races in number 4 season finale out here today, and it's all about the classics racing, individual racing with squads competition, but the squad only goes across the entirety of the series. Of course, as usual, today is sponsored by Verge Sport Precision Fuel and Hydration, Restart presented by Alex Cole and powered by Lead Out. Want to give a big thank you to Restart and Dean Cunningham for everything that they've put into putting this together, getting all the elite athletes back out on Zwift. If you haven't checked it out already, we're not going to go through the whole rendition again like we did the last 3 times. Head on over to leadoutesports.com. There's a bunch of new events that are popping up over there, and really excited to see how things get going. But we're going to bring in the man with the plan, Dave Toll. Dave, how are you doing? It's good to see you. And I think today we might have a working microphone.
Yeah, I fixed it by just letting it sit there for 2 weeks, and it seems to be back and fine. So Happy New Year to you and everybody around the world who loves esports racing. This has been fantastic. I was so bummed. Of course, I watched the racing from a couple weeks ago. Awesome. The finale of that men's race, that was just pure dynamite, man. I am a big Njal Pedersen fan now, that's for sure. This guy has really made his mark, made his impact in the sport in a pretty short time. He's risen up to be one of the top riders, and Nathan, I want to thank all of the racers, besides the crew that makes this happen. Well, the racers themselves have taken responsibility for showing up. I know they've had to make a bigger commitment to it. It's been awesome. It's paying off. The strongest fields, actually, I think the greatest depth in fields that I've seen across all of the racing. Shout out to Sunday Race Club. They've done a ton for this sport. They've helped professionalize things, and we appreciate that. We're doing a little bit differently here, but I'm glad to see the quality of the fields is darn close.
100%. Super excited about it. Well, let's get right on into the course. We've got our analyst with us again, Mrs. Becca Neeson. It's great to see you, Becca, and welcome back. Doing some Box Hill, it looks like. Today is going to be the main thing.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is a course that's all about that hill right in the middle. So for the most part, it's a pretty flat loop around London, and then you head down the escalators and you hit that Box Hill. This is really a Z-map test. So it's for the men, it'll be somewhere around 5.5 minutes. So if you include that first little part that's not part of the KOM, maybe 6 minutes, and you've got the little kicker at the end. And with women, they'll likely do the KOM in about just over 6 minutes. So it's likely a 7-minute effort, and they're going to have to do it 3 times. So the first time around, there's no preem at the top, but the second time there is. So everybody's going to try to be collecting on that downhill, I expect, on that first lap. And then we'll see if everybody can come together in that second lap and hit it again.
Yeah, well, we also have some squads that are racing out here today. Want to chat us through where things stand?
Yeah, I find this probably the most fun part for me. I do think that Wahoo is doing pretty well, but it really changed when Gabby joined Beast Mode in the second race. So if you look across the standings, who's scoring for each of them, Elise Gallegos has been performing spectacularly. And Mika Soderstrom obviously has been performing as well, but not quite the level of Gabby. And in the second race, Gabby did super well, got 30 points. And then in the third race, she teamed up with Merla. And I think that them together on this third one could change the standings. I mean, they are close enough that I think they could probably flip-flop. Swedish Swifters has been playing it really tight. And they're pretty close in the standings, but they're all kind of conservative. And I think Camilla has a really good chance to stay in the front group, but I think she's probably going to be the only one in the front group. So I don't think they're going to be able to jump ahead of either Wahoo or Beast Mode. And then on the men's side, it's pretty close too, but Speed Potatoes really has demonstrated an ability to work together as a team, which is pretty awesome. And Najal just has probably the most consistent power over multiple efforts of any of the riders that I've seen. Probably the most consistent scorer other than Gabby in the race series. So it'll be tough for anyone to beat him. And then if Powell and Ruben are together with him, I think we're going to see them walk away with the team points. Again, Swedish Swifters pretty conservative. 3 good scorers, and same with Beast Mode, but I don't think that they're going to be able to leapfrog over Speed Potatoes. So
thank you so much, Becca. Really great analysis out here today, and excited to see how things play out. Well, we do have I want to take a look at how things played out, though, the last couple of weeks. And last week, or not last week, but before Christmas, actually, quite a few weeks ago, we had an awesome battle, and Libby Hill, Richmond. Dave, you know this course really well, and I know you watched it back, but Najal, he does the Najal things. The guy, there's a reason why Josh Harris is calling him the Norwegian God. I mean, YouTube is blowing up with him, and I just kind of see him everywhere when it comes to esports right now.
And there's something about not only Scandinavians, but Norwegians in particular in endurance sports that is just the cream of the crop. And you're looking at what might be the greatest esports racer of all time. If he can keep this up for a few years, the man is bananas. That effort, that was a pure strongman finish. I mean, there was no doubt about that. He had the world's best working together behind him, and he still held on to a significant gap to close out that deal. So yeah, credit where it's due. That's for sure. You know, Nathan, I'm so excited about this racing, both the men and the women. There's so many dynamics to look at here. Like, I mean, honestly, like in the women's field, you might say, well, who would the favorite be to win the season here? And you have to remember that Gabby didn't do the first race. So even though they're in second, they might be the odd makers' favorites here, to tell you the truth. But the other thing to remember is the longer and harder it gets. And today is going to be nearly twice as much climbing, twice as hard as any day we've had in Prestige Series so far, and there has not been an easy day. Racers make the race. Well, today, the race is going to make the race. It's going to be so hard. Judging your effort 3 times up Box Hill is going to be really, really tricky. Not taking the bait, it's going to be unbelievably fun to watch.
100%. Well, we did get a little bit of a look at the starters list. Just real quickly, I'm gonna have a chat with both of you. Who's the favorites out here today? We kind of named a few, but as this scrolls through for the women's race, what is gonna happen today? 3 times Box Hill. Becca, let's go to you first.
I think that it's going to be between Gabby and Camilla for this one, mostly because you've got that hard Box Hill, and then you've got that kicker afterwards, which as a puncher myself, I really love because it's a short, super steep effort that you have to do on top of the climb. And the faster you can get through it, the more likely you are to be able to get away on the downhill. I think those two have the ability to do that 6 to 7 minute effort and then repeat a short, hard effort right after.
100%. Well, Dave, where's it at for you?
Well, I mean, to tell you the truth, I like Swedish Swifters a lot today. I like Camilla Ahlberg for, again, Gabby Guerra is going to be incredibly hard to beat, and she has that chance again that she attacks early and the tactical game happens behind her. And I don't know what Gabby has in her mind for Rose Beast Mode and what they're going to do, but the Swedes are going to be tough to contain. There's no doubt that Mika Soderstrom, the longer and harder the race is, the better she is. There's something about the heart that kid in Sweden has, the really special rider there, and purpose built for today.
Yeah, I think it's a good call there. Mika Soderstrom, it'd be fun to see if she can make it up and over the top of the climbs actually out here today. As we look at this lineup, it's one of the strongest that we've seen so far. I'm super excited. The ladies have gotten out on course. They're just starting to make their way. If we can grab some images here in just 1 second, they are just starting to make their way along the river here, Thames here, and I think with the women's race, things are gonna heat up early as we do jump right down into it. So, women's race number 4, Leah Cuthbertson. She's not gonna be sneaking away like we've seen in the past. Remember, Dave, we saw this time and again with Leah. Actually, as I speak, on cue. Is that actually what's going on here? Is this actually going to be the move again? And no, this time Marcel Smithers.
Oh, Smithers. Okay. Well, either way, it's nice to see that the race is being activated as the broadcast goes live. And Marcel is another one of the animators, no doubt. So Scotty the squirrel, that you don't pay an aerodynamic disadvantage for that squirrel, do I saw Gabby racing with it. I figured Gabby would know for sure. So Scotty along for the ride on the attack here. Here we go. We can light a fuse. This is going to be fun. Long day too. As Becca was talking about, we're going to have quite a bit of time in the red zone here. If you think about it, let's call it over 20 minutes of all-out climbing today, Nathan.
Yeah, full gas. And, what are they going to do? Are they going to be holding off a little bit, though, too? I mean, think about how this is going to be playing out today with that KOM, right? You got that jersey, the $50, some precision, and it's a longer race, right? Like, how long you're out here, it's going to be kind of tough to try and maybe push it a little bit too much.
You know how, Nathan, in your time, mountain bike racing changed? It went from long point-to-point style racing to small circuits. Well, this is old school Zwift racing that we've got here today, the very best kind, in my mind, where, yeah, it's going to require a lot of intelligence. That's why I was talking about Mika at the top of the broadcast. That experience is going to pay off. The way that you ride, it's not the first time, the second time there's the preem, it's the third time up Box Hill where it's all going to be decided. You got to come with good legs at that moment is really the thing. So big part of this is going to do as little as you can until you get to that moment so that you have more explosive power. That's for sure. So talk about Smithers here, Marcel Smithers out of Australia, another rider that truly has risen up, Nathan, in the ranks, and it's doing races like this where she gets to prove her mettle. Now, is that Rose Beast Mode to the front and Gabby Guerra?
Yeah, it's going to be Gabby on the move, it looks like. And as she makes this move, is anybody going to be responding is going to be the big question to this move by her. And yes, immediately it is going to be Camilla Ahlberg. And we've been seeing Camilla right on the wheel of Gabby time and again. She was able to go with her a couple weeks back in the women's finals, actually, of the SRC races. So interesting. Ahlberg definitely been a challenge as of lately to the likes of Guerra. So making the cover there, and I have a feeling that Ahlberg's going to be shooting for this one because Zwift racing is different than whoosh racing. Whoosh, a little bit more, just pure power, get the breakaways going and establish yourself. Whereas in Zwift, if you play it savvy, you can really win out with smarts.
Yeah, there's something called Zwiftcraft that is real. And Nathan, just to dovetail into what you were saying there, Camilla Ahlberg is one of the 4 most talented esports riders racing right now, I would say. You have to remember Kate McCarthy, the world champion, and Gabby Guerra are in that mix. And then there's certainly probably 8 riders that could have a claim to being in that top 4, if you follow what I mean there. A lot of talent. There's Tiffany Penner, the Canadian champion, doing her work. Nobody digs in harder than Tiffany Penner, a workhorse, without a doubt, the kind of rider you want to be with in a breakaway, but you wouldn't want to be sprinting against her for that preem at the top of Box Hill. So Smithers has been brought back, Nathan, into the fold. They weren't going to play around with what have all three previous premier races seen that kind of a long range attack. Certainly we saw it when we were in Austria.
Yeah, let's see here. So Innsbruck, yep, we saw it, definitely. The first race, though, in Watopia, I don't think it was a little bit more together. Remember, Elise Gallegos, we had.
That's right.
Right? It was a battle to the line.
Tiffany Penner actually was the other rider that was up there that day through the middle part of the race contesting for the Prima, if I remember
Lucy
correctly.
Harris was the one who jumped early on Tempest Fugit, was able to actually make something different happen there. So it was a great race at the end there. Came with a small, reduced field. And perhaps today with the level, a little bit, what are we starting with? I don't know. I think we started with a few, let's say, in 437 in Zwift. We don't have, I wish we had 437. I think we started with 43 or something like that. But 29, actually. A little bit smaller field. But I think the level of riders that is showing up is definitely right up there at the top.
Do you see the poster behind Camilla here on the wall? I believe that was Lance Armstrong there finishing.
We'll get it back up there in a second.
Yeah, we'll have to take another look, but some inspiration there. So we're going to go under the Thames and get out into the countryside in a moment. This would be the most terrifying place to ride your bike in real life ever, wouldn't it?
Yeah, through this like underground, and you got these.
Oh my gosh! Imagine if there were people walking around too.
Trains. I mean, there could be trains.
Oh no. No, so you know what I love? The level, Nathan. I was saying that at the top of the broadcast. These ladies, tip of the cap. So many of the strong women in esports are here right now. Sunday Race Club, credit to you. It's been incredible to watch what you're doing for the sport. But right here, we're getting for the people racing. These women are doing it because they love it, and they're looking for the highest level of fair racing they can find, and that's what Prestige Series has brought to us. And congratulations to you, Nathan, for getting to this point. It's been a lot of work to get this series up and going. Dean Cunningham, what a stud that guy is. I watched the podcast that you did with him. Yeah, really cool person who does more than a lion's share. He's like a lion's den himself.
I think Dean, he's one of the stalwarts of the sport. You can't, without Dean being around, a lot of this just would not happen. And so really appreciative to him. Now we're going to hit Box Hill here for the first time. I want to bring in our analyst here. What are you thinking here for the situation? I mean, what's going to happen on this climb here as they start to kick in? I mean, early fireworks a little bit. Anna Svartstrom going for an early move, 4.5 watts per kilogram off the front. Maybe looking for a fade climb.
Anna.
I kind of think that Anna is probably working as a team and creating a gap between her and the field for Camilla to jump over would be pretty smart, because Camilla has the ability to push past the group, catch Anna, and potentially do a breakaway. Of course, you've got a couple people who are going to go with her, like Gabby, but that is a way that you can try to shake off as many people in this group as possible. This group's already 21, so if you can shake off 5 or 6 in this round, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, it looks like she is going to be caught pretty quickly here, and I wonder if early on we're going to start seeing the moves take place, because I have a sense that no one's going to be playing around out here today. And there we go. It is going to be fireworks right away. Gara now starting to make a move, it looks like, as she heads to the front. 7 watts per kilogram here coming in from Gara. Starts from hanging right on the wheel. Alberg jumps on it there immediately as well. So Gara from beast mode now making her way up the climb.
They talk about the blowing of the work whistle at 6:30 a.m. It's time to show up at the mine with your pickaxe and get to work, because that's what it's happening here. And that split happening right in front of our eyes. It's going to be 6 riders going clear. So obviously it's going to be Gabby Gara, Camilla Alberg, Elise Gallegos. Shout out to Elise. We haven't talked about her yet, but we'll talk about her a lot today. Mina Colston in there. Liz Van Houweling, another rider that we definitely will have in the conversation here. How about Sophie Giovanni, Nathan? Sophie with the PH there. That's a rider that's really risen to the top of the cream. And here we go. This is full tilt boogie here. When Gabby Guerra locks in like this, you just got to get into the slipstream and hang on for dear life.
Yeah, 6.8 watts per kilogram. Absolutely smashing it here now at this point. Gallegos right on the wheel there. 181 coming from Elise Gallegos just to hang on to the wheel here at this point. Really. And Gallegos, she has been one of the standout riders, I would say, as of recently. You know, I think Gallegos here is definitely she's come along. Like we were just talking the other day, actually, Gabby and I, about how far she has come from the rider that we would call the triathlete who's making her way into esports. She is now one of the top 5, I would say, in the world esports athletes week in and week out. Completely has shifted her focus into this discipline.
Well, and that's a big point there, Nathan. It's shifting her focus, and also the biggest thing is doing the work at the end of the day. She's committed to herself. She bet on herself. I would imagine for Alex Coe, that is the prototypical, or Tiffany Penner too, but the prototypical mindset that he's looking for in an athlete is someone who doesn't shy away from the hard work first. And
that's his whole thing. That woman if you see his memes, everything that guy posts too as well. I mean,
I had to turn them off. I didn't feel. They were working negatively for me. I'm just kidding, Alex. Of course they weren't. No, he's a great guy too. You know, Dean Cunningham, Alex Coe, Nathan Guerra. These are the shoulders of giants that we stand on to give these ladies here this opportunity. So Gabby's going to tuck back into the group. She's done enough damage there. She can let the dust settle around her and see who's left. Liz Van Houweling certainly punching above her weight. And then as soon as I say that, Gabby's gone again. So Gabby's going to push on. What do you think's going on? Nathan, obviously, you're quite familiar with Gabby. Why isn't she happy to just ride in that group up this knowing that there's 2 more trips up this climb? She's got plenty of opportunity to do damage, and she's got that 20-pound sledge, that 20-kilogram sledgehammer out, and is just wailing right now. Yikes. 7.5 watts per kilo. This is as fast as the men will be going.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is workout mode
mad?
a little bit too. Well, I think it's been a rest week a little bit. There was a little sickness in the house. I do have a little bit of inside information. She's had to rest a lot. She's literally been sleeping like 12 hours a day, like every day. And so I have a feeling that there's just a lot of pent up, because she is feeling better, I think, at this point, that the sickness is kind of gone. But I think there's just some freshness there, and it's Box Hill. Why not make some moves?
Listen, Nathan, I can't tell you the number of times in real life that I've seen exactly that phenomenon. An athlete who might be not as fit, but really motivated because they're back on the bike and they're feeling healthy again. The human physiology and psychology are incredible. How about, is this Mika that we're with right now?
Yeah,
Nathan?
Mika Soderstrom.
Yes,
here.
Swedish champion. There you go. Another one of the all-time greats. She's in my Hall of Fame, that's for sure. I haven't been on Zwift enough lately, and I don't know this hat that well. But all in the chase here is Mika Soderstrom, multi-time gravel champion. Certainly one of the athletes that personifies.
She's like one of the best in all of Sweden, not only in esports but in real life. I mean, watch out, Mika Soderstrom. Don't ever count her out. But I mean, like, something's happening at the front of this race now here at this point. I don't know if Gabby got the memo that the sprint is not on this lap, but I think she just wanted to break everybody. She's like, I'm out here for a threshold and VO2 max efforts, I guess.
You remember the honey badger don't care meme, don't you, Nathan?
100%.
I don't think anyone's going to forget honey badger.
Wasn't that really big in the cross, like the whole cross season thing too as well?
I feel like it was big on many, like even professional football, NFL football would nickname a player the honey badger kind of thing, right? It became part of society. This is honey badger stuff that we're looking at right now. Gabby, the Brazilian, does live in Wisconsin, which is the badger state, but not honey badgers are African. So that this is just a badger, a Brazilian badger that we've got. The Brazilian badger. That's not a bad nickname for Gabby.
Yeah, I kind of like that one. Actually, look at you.
That's maybe one of my master strokes. I'm in a roll right now, Gabby. That's a gift from me. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad.
Oh man.
How do you say it in Portuguese, Nathan?
Parabéns for a celebration. I can give you that. That's about as good as I can do.
Okay, we'll ask Gabby after the race how you say badger in Portuguese. She's busy right now putting the hurt on him. So Gabby's settling into, this is her sweet spot. She'll sit here between maybe just under 5 watts per kilo and 6 watts per kilo, I would think, for a while. These four really, if they can organize, they've got a chance. They really do. They just have to work together here, start swapping pulls. The mindset needs to be us against Gabby here, not me against Gabby. Do you understand? Do you follow me on that, Nathan? If they can switch into us against Gabby here, it gives them all a chance. If they each look at it as from a narcissistic view on it's all my perspective, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that one. Now, interesting enough, I mean, Gabby keeps on kicking big numbers at the front, specifically to get her speed as high as she possibly can. 66.9 kilometers per hour here. If we go over and make a comparison, 66 there as well. So, they're not having to work at all. Gabby's having to put down big watts in order to get those orange numbers going. So because of that, now Alberg, look at that, jumping through. Here comes Koistinen. Talk about a rock star too. Nina Koistinen, she's a mom. She's recently had another baby, and now racing almost immediately right back at the top level. I mean, pretty amazing to see.
I completely agree. I think everybody on the planet agrees that Mina is another special human being. There's something about that Finnish DNA that just makes them so robust and tough, and Mina's a perfect example of that. Nathan, I when you look at this group of women, there's so much experience here, tactical savvy as well. I do think they work together. I do think that they get it. As you said, and to be fair, thank you. If Gabby is a little bit coming out of being sick, that's nice of you to be honest about that. And again, no harm, no foul. At the end of the day, the race is going to play out the way that these actors want it to. But that should give these women, you're always looking for a little bit of motivation, a little bit to add to morale. And knowing that, it's not even the great Gabby Guerra might fade the third time up Box Hill. You got to keep your head in the game in this sport.
So, looking at this now, Becca, it's only 8 seconds. This is Zwift's situation here, a little bit different than maybe we would have thought was going to play out.
Absolutely. We did think that Camilla and Gabby were going to be away on that first hill, and Gabby attacked just as I would expect at the top of Box Hill and then going into that kicker at the end after the banner. However, I do think that she's catchable at this point. This is really an all-star team. As long as Liz is willing to work together, she's kind of an infamously smart and cagey rider. So they do have to rotate. And as Dave mentioned, if they don't work together, then they won't be able to pull her back because the power at the front is the same power as Gabby's. That's what they have to match. So if they can't do it, then they're going to just let her go.
Yeah, it's a good point. Real quickly here, I'm going to bring you out of screen. I think these are updating live. I hope that they are, because I do have a little bit, looking at the current situation. Wahoo, 232, Rose Beast Mode there with the 226, Team SZ, we've got Restart Esports, and then Electric Spirit Co. That's the squad situation. So,
isn't
Becca,
it good for Swedish?
Yeah, that's
really?
what I'm wondering. Becca, real quick with Becca here, what do you think about that? And then Dave, will come over to you.
What do I think about who's going to be able to
what does this do to the team tactics currently on course with what people will respond to with Gabby right now, whether or not people work together behind too? Is it in their interest in that group behind? It might be to catch Gabby, but at the same time, are they fighting amongst themselves as well there with that second group?
Yeah, because they're not, Wahoo is the only one that potentially, if Mika is able to do a bunch sprint, if she gets caught, she's kind of in no man's land right now, but Wahoo has the best chance at this point to leapfrog, and Beast Mode is not, other than Gabby, is not out front. I would just let her go if they think that they can get second, because if they're going to do the effort to close that gap, they're going to lose a lot of their potential to climb the second time up the hill, for instance. I think if they don't work together, I mean, Koistening's a perfect one to be able to do the work here, because she's not really in contention for the team standings, and she's not really in the individual standings either. She really hasn't, to this point, done anything. I would say that they let this gap go and they just try to stay ahead of Mika. That would be my move. And if I was
Swedish Swifters. Dave, come in, because you know the Swedish Swifters situation is so all the time. They always are the smart ones who play the team game, Dave.
Exactly. Thank you, Nathan. The thing I'd say is, look, I talked about this at the very beginning of the broadcast. If Gabby Guerra is strong and hits with just shock and awe at the beginning of the race, you need to reevaluate your tactics. Is it smartest for us to work and ultimately race to failure by not catching Gabby but blowing our team up and doing that? Because right now, you let Gabby go. Okay, beast mode takes the top of the table for all those points. But second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, you don't see, where does beast mode show up next? That really, for me, so if that's the reason why you let Gabby go at this point, or at least you race like your second place becomes the win in your mindset. Koistenin, as you said, is racing for the Cryo Toyota RDT team. She's a complete wild card here. I don't know if she wants to work or not want to work. It doesn't even matter because she's not part of the team conversation. But Swedish Swifters, they've got Mika. They've got Alberg. They're in a position now where what Wahoo is doing with Elise and I mean, it's really an interesting race scenario. But I truly think that Gabby is gone. Especially, well, one, look at the numbers. She continues to be putting a greater number up on the board than the combined effort. So think of it like rowing for a second, where if you had a single scull athlete, the amount of effort they'd have to do to travel at 20 knots per hour or whatever it might be, whereas 4 rowers in one boat trying to maintain the same speed on the same water would have a massive advantage. But in this case, Gabby's just that much stronger. You have to cut bait sometimes when you're fishing, and you are not going to haul that shark in. So, that's basically my point, Nathan, is that this is why you let Gabby go.
It's a good call there, I think, at this point. And for a moment, I think they had some hope. I think they had a little. I think there was a little bit of hope. Yeah.
It was 8 seconds, Nathan, when you started the question. It's at 35 now.
Yeah. So
tell your wife to settle down a little bit.
I try every day. Every day. It doesn't seem to work out too well there, Dave. Speaking of Koistenin, taking a little bit of a breather, getting a little bit of hydration in, and look at the lights in that. That's a pretty cool setup, it looks like. There's got to be some techno music playing in that room.
Feels very high tech in there. So I bet you she can turn on the lights and activate things by voice. So it'd be the most discouraging thing. I would almost think Becca. I heard Becca 2 weeks ago talking about mom watts and ability to endure greater pain and thresholds that exist because you've already done something tougher. It's all true in my mind what Becca was saying. Can you imagine though how discouraging it is for women around the world to hear that, hey, this woman in the front of this one of the hardest bike races in the world just had a baby.
Yeah, it's a good, definitely a good point. And it makes you stronger, I think. I wouldn't know.
It has to.
I think it has to. Alberg now on the attack. Here we go. 6.2 watts per kilogram up and out of the saddle. The heart rate low, though. Interesting. I think she just wants to get things moving here. As we saw, the riders had a little bit lower. You can see their heart rates are there. You do see around their little cards there, they do light up a little bit differently when they are going hard. So when you get in that anaerobic, watch out for how long they stay red there.
Why would I'm thinking if I'm Alberg, Mies and Marlene, that would be better for her if they're looking to harvest more. So I don't know that she really was to tell you the truth. It's interesting. And I think always in, and we should bring in back to this, I think always in esports, Nathan, teams talk a lot about it. At the end of the day, it is such an individual sport. There's a team element. I'm never going to deny that. But I truly think that if there was ever a sport where you look after yourself first, there's a little, you share it with your teammates. What are your thoughts on that, Becca?
I think that there are a couple different types of people that race. I definitely don't perform if it's an individual effort. I just won't. I just don't care. So if it's not a team race, you'll find me like in the middle or the back of the race. But if it's something where team points are on the line, I find another level. So I think that there are riders like that, and I think Swedish Zwifters seems to be a little like that. I did notice Camilla's doing a little bit of looking around and making smart moves, trying to push the pace because Mika is catching. I don't know if you noticed the gap coming down. It's now at 10 seconds and it was twice that. So I think that there are smart team riders who are just looking out for what does this do to our standings? What would happen if this rider caught? How do I push the pace based on who else might perform for another team? So,
yeah, and they're really bringing it back here. I mean, she is. I mean,
Mika
is flying. You think so? I mean, they're right there.
No matter what they do. Yeah, no, it's down to under 10 seconds, isn't it? Yeah, Mika is going to catch these women. It's under 8 seconds now. She is full tilt boogie here. So what I'm really interested in, and Nathan, I'm sure you have seen every element of this in esports, is it's entirely possible that there are riders here that are 100% on racing to get my best personal result, and slowing down to allow Mika to join might not be Allberg's best chance to get a result today. So it's very, very complex. It's part of what makes esports fascinating. It really is. And I get it, what Becca's saying. Some racers are here. Their favorite day is team time trial day. Some racers, their favorite day is a points race day where they can help teammates early in the race. It's just all part of it.
Well, we're a little further back here. This is going to be Chase Group 2 out on the road. I believe it is, because if that catches Mace, this would be Chase Group 2 then. And quite some names in here as well. And we definitely want to highlight all the awesome racers out here. Herbert Smith, Lisa Hermanson in here. This is a world contender. She was at the World Championships. We've got Kalman in here as well. Maria Marb, Sarah London, Sophie Giovanni. So some names in here looking for some top 10s. And with the squad situation, it's definitely going to be to their advantage to get the best possible place in top 30 score. So it's going to change things up if depending on how this plays out here, Dave.
Yeah, there's some racers who are individually out here. Some racers are part of teams. Nathan talking about points, and your team still will score 3 riders for points here. This is the 4th race of the Prestige Series. This has just been a Donnybrook out here to bring you up to speed. It's been Gabby Guerra. Now, Gabby won't be too long until she's on the climb. This is the preem lap that we're on now. So Gabby will be obviously looking to hold on there. She's settled in at about 53 seconds, just under a minute. The Chase group behind her, well, this is the next group behind them that we're looking at now with rider Soderstrom Queen, or, well, Chase 1. Gets a little complex when you start explaining which group this is, but this is the second major Chase group that we've got. This would really be the peloton.
Yeah, it is. I would say, and a little bit of infighting starting to happen there between them. It looks like Varheed now making her way to the front and pushing on. And I don't think this is the motivation other than maybe to try and cause some damage in and amongst this crew, because the ship has sailed up ahead. Or looking behind, we do have a couple of other riders here. It looks like. With Lisa here from Rose Beast Mode, Randy Gino just ahead, hanging on with that main group. So Tiffany Penner making a, looks like, chill day out for Tiffany. I have a feeling, showing up on the day and letting herself be known. It's good to see Tiffany showing up for today, though. One of the top esports athletes for a long time. Probably looking forward to trying to defend that jersey that she's got on.
Yeah, definitely a class act from Canada. That is for sure. And Tiffany, this would not be they say there's horses for courses in cycling, and this would not be a course that would specifically suit her skills. That day will come. But speaking of Alex Co athletes, there's one in the lab right now doing the work.
100%.
Can she jump higher than you, Nathan? Have you
it's close.
Looked at those?
It might be close. She's definitely got it. If you don't follow Tiffany over on Instagram, it's just a ton of over and over again box jumps, which is pretty awesome to see. Super explosive.
I don't know if it gets any more explosive than that. Gabby does her fair share of the box jumps as well. So this is Gabby Guerra that we're looking at right now, the infamous vice champion at the Worlds, a couple years running now, but really one of the most recognized and loved esports racers out there. So Camilla Ahlberg looking like she's picking up the chase alone now, Nathan. So she's struck out from that chase group here. Even though Gabby Guerra is throwing a little more coal on the fire, Camilla Ahlberg seems to be the one rider that's left out of that front group. Or, well, it's become solo chase from Camilla, and then Kostanen, Gallegos, and Van Houweling settling into a three-rider group, chase 2.
Yeah, I get the sense that she's extremely motivated, too. This is going to be a rider... like I was saying earlier on in the broadcast, she has her eyes set on the Mary Kates and the Gabbies, I think, at this point, to take it to that next level. I definitely can see over and over again, week in and week out, on the chase to make it happen, and she's been getting close. Definitely challenging as of the recent weeks. So great to see her on the chase here now. What is the gap? It looks like it's about... 57 seconds, so a lot of time to make up here at this point. We do have the KOM approaching. It is going to be $50 at the top, $50 cash, and a Verge kit.
Love that. You know what I'd say, Nathan, here is Camilla does us all a huge favor. If she attacks out of that chase group and is the solo chaser now, it doesn't matter what happens with that group and Mika. It's out of her hands. She's now doing everything she can to ensure she gets the maximum points for herself and her team, and that's that, right? I kind of like it when you can clear the slate. And that's certainly Camilla's all in right now, chasing our leader, and she's really in a race for the silver medal unless things change, which they can in this sport. We still got a long way to go, as you really have to rock up the third trip up Box Hill. We'll see. I think we'll see a couple surprises, to tell you the truth, Nathan. Mina Kostanen, the Finnish flyer, sitting third wheel now with Gallegos, and it looks like Van Houweling has had to let those wheels go. So it's changing quite a bit. Second trip up Box Hill here, Nathan.
Second time up, here we go, and there's cash at the top. The chase is on. Ahlberg trying to bring it back. I'm not sure it's going to be happening, but she's definitely putting the effort. Look at the face on Ahlberg. The suffering
you think
is
she's
so
trying?
Real. I think it might not as much be about Gabby, but
all.
at the same time, this course is very similar to what's coming up on SRC as well. I do know a lot of the riders, they like it when they can kind of train a couple of days before for what is coming up in SRC. So I did hear a little bit of chatter like that. And so I have a feeling that perhaps Ahlberg's like, look, I got to put in the best effort I possibly can. I know Gabby was thinking similar. Koistinen and Gallegos now getting together, as it looks like Liz Van Houweling falling off the pace. But she's with Soderstrom. Soderstrom's made the catch here. We've got two of the biggest sprinters in the world. Becca, this will be an interesting one if this one comes to the line.
Yeah, I think Soderstrom is motivated to try to catch Elise, and Elise... if it comes down to a sprint, Elise might be able to take Koistinen, but at this point, Elise wants Soderstrom to catch. So I'm not sure if she's not going to back it off, but if Gallegos can sag Koistinen and then Soderstrom can gap Van Houweling, I think that changes the team element a lot. So that's what I would be thinking anyway.
But I tell you, Nathan, looking at it, I think the riders that when you look at the season prestige championship, you have to go down and check out Nelly Larson, Marlene Bjarhi. I think they might be, one of those two women, because that would be the third Swedish Swifter and final Swedish Swift rider to score points. But it's starting to look like Swedish Swifters is going to end up second at worst. Now, the rider to really watch here is Gabby's teammate for the Beast Mode team, and Marb is it Maria Marb? I believe it was. It is, with Randy Gino sitting about 3:15 back right now. But I think advantage Swedish Swifters and Wahoo as well, for that matter. Really, Swedish Swifters. They might be riding their way into the season-long championships, even if that's not their focus.
Yeah, nicely done here from Swedish Swifters, that's for sure. Now I'm going to jump on over, everybody. I do know that the men's race has gotten out. They have not hit the Box Hill just yet. There was so much action over on the ladies, but the men now jumping down into the underground here. A little bit of chatter there coming from Andrew Downey, as you can see, but Najal, he made the catch. It was Hayden Pucker, actually, that was off the front momentarily. That's kind of like Hayden, isn't it? Just to kind of just throw down. I mean, if the guy can get away throwing down 400 to 500 watts all day long, he's going to do so. And he's going to look for a little time probably before they hit the climb, because it's not necessarily where he's the best. But I did get a message from Hayden, and he's been on a weight loss program, he said. So we'll see.
Really?
If that guy gets his kilos down and keeps the power, watch out, world.
Oh, man. Yeah, and there's Njal moving up as well, the Norwegian sensation that the peloton we're looking at. It certainly fits his style, the American champion Hayden Pucker here up on the front.
Yeah,
wouldn't you say, I mean, it's funny, weight is a big part of this thing. Watts per kilo, it's no joke, right? And the more power you can make and the less you weigh, the faster you're going to go. There's no secrets there. Right. But the fact that Hayden is kind of taking that next mental step is interesting to me. He's got a group coming with him here 3 times up Box Hill. They're starting the first, even though this isn't technically, I don't think they've hit the official timed KOM segment here, but they do soon.
No, they're through. Yep,
they have.
Came through. Yeah,
They're
they
through.
came through it. Yeah, I believe it's a little ways around the corner there, actually. So as we do have Pucker
we
here
are just
now,
getting
making his way
going.
up.
Let's
Look at
say
this, 587 watts. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? At 183 beats, absolutely flying. As Gara now made mincemeat of that climb that we were talking about as well. I mean, a lot of action out on course here at this point, but Garrett just came through the second segment, grabbing that $50. We'll see if we can get a replay of that, or at least see what the points were standing. But now, with Pucker now starting to drive the pace, this is going to be a lot of action coming into these climbs.
Nathan, how would you describe, these two as well as anyone, the riding style from Njal is as esports centric as you get, up out of the saddle, a lot of standing, slow RPM, huge power. Where does Hayden fall? Well, here we go. You can take a look for yourself. A little bit more like Gabby, I would say, and there's still an element, a little more leaning towards actual road cycling or mountain bike cycling. Either way, actual riding.
Yeah, I mean,
if you take a look, quicker pedal stroke.
Here, I'm gonna put them both up on screen here for just a second. Maybe not side by side, but his head's actually not cut off by the London Loop at the top there. They both just stand and grind, though.
Pretty similar.
That's their deal.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'll even take that another layer. They're almost identical, aren't they, in style? I always thought that Hayden brought a little more of that gravel rider in, but you know what? I think Hayden's refined his technique. There's no question. This seems to be exactly what works.
Yeah, just a
speed
quick little
potatoes,
reminder.
Man.
Yeah, with these speed potatoes, they have been so dominant, haven't they, Dave?
It's been really something. I mean, generally they take at least 2 spots on the podium at every prestige race that we see. And you can see them in the classic gray and orange Zwift kit. Neil Freyet, pride of Seattle. He's been on the podium at the World Championships in his career. One of the really great Americans in this sport. I truly enjoy Neil as a person as well. So nice to see Neil back on great form here today, making this the ultimate selection. Wow. I mean, this is quite a group that we've got in front of us here. Ruben Dant, Hayden Pucker, Njal Pedersen, and Neil Freyet. Anywhere, anytime, this sounds like the front group at the biggest race in esports.
Yeah, this is Neil Freyette. Great to see him. Last minute joining. Actually, he said, "Oh, let's jump in and see what we can do," because it's a good one for him. Because this guy can hang on. Neil Freyette really surprised me at Worlds. He had one of the best rides I've ever seen. Top 10, maybe even like 7th or something when it came to that first climb on the deciding climb. That is not like this. That's not the Neil Freyette I know, right? And so, what an amazing job by him. We'll see if this guy hangs on. Ruben Dant, Pucker, Najal, I don't think they stand even close to a chance if this guy can hang on when it comes to a sprint.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about riders adapting to esports, and Neil has an extensive regular cycling career. He's out there racing in Seattle all the time, but he also has put this focus into esports over the last, I'm going to say, 4, maybe 5 years now, and he's going to be a hard guy to not have with you at the finish. It's going to take a concerted effort to get rid of Neil. Yeah, I don't know that that's going to happen with the modern Neil Freyette that we've got.
Dant now on the move. You know why? Exactly why. We've got Paul Sirski here now, the Polish sensation. This guy, he is a monster coming out of nowhere this past year. Great to see what he's been putting down. And Becca, Sirski here now, I think he sees the threat. I think he thought maybe that this would be coming back a little bit early, and then all of a sudden, where is this coming from? I think he thought that the group would maybe be able to bring these boys back. And Sirski, he just closed that down like it was nothing. Look at that.
Yeah, I saw him, what did we say it was? Potatoing. He went off the front of the chase group. So the chase group wasn't making up time, and Sirski's just started rolling with 8 watts a kilo to catch. So I thought it was a little unwise at first, seeing him lead the chase group back, considering he had 2 teammates out in the front. But I think he knew just how much power he needed to put down to just break that line. Prove me wrong.
A little bit of kick over the top here, it looks like, from Ruben Dant, trying to make something happen. It's going to be Freyette still there. As soon as Sirski made the catch, Pucker on the back. I wonder if Hayden is suffering here at this point. Becca, do you think that what's the game plan from a guy like Pucker out here today? And you haven't actually seen him race a whole lot lately. He took like a month or more off, actually, since Worlds. I have a feeling he's trying to come back as a whole new athlete after not the best result he was looking for at Worlds.
Yeah, I think actually he was my choice last week because I like to look up the numbers and the recent numbers of the riders. And I thought he had actually great looking numbers and historical advantage for Zwiftcraft, as Dave was terming it. So I thought he looked good even when he was out of shape. But right now he's in the perfect position because along with Freyette, they don't need to do the work. They just stick on this group as long as possible and make them do the work because they're all one team. So the speed potatoes are really going to just be in charge of maintaining this gap. And Hayden, if I was Hayden or Freyette, I would just be sitting on the back, doing what you can to save energy.
An interesting one here. We just did see a pretty good attack here just a moment ago. And, we got the speed potatoes. Is that all the speed potatoes? Sweet potatoes, speed potatoes? Is that everybody?
I believe it's 3 or 4. Well, I'm going to take a look. But, the cadence that you're seeing from Pedersen here, it's close to 80, or it's in the 70s at least. That is not a slow grind at all.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. And Pedersen here, Sirski, Freyette, Najal, Pucker, Dant, that's top 5. Johan Noren behind here, 25 seconds. Zach Neer, Yeldins, Dreikat, Anderson. But it's not a cohesive group. They obviously climbed extremely hard up and over the top here. And with that, blown things apart. Dreikat just trying to get back on terms, it looks like here, as it is going to be having Yeldins, and then it's going to be behind Vidar Mail, who's also former world finalist. Laverick right on his wheel, and this is a nice little group that maybe they want to get together with Yeldins. But Yeldins 7.2 watts per kilogram, but I think they're going to make the catch there.
Yeah, a couple Foudre riders. Isn't Dreikat on Foudre as well? A Belgian rider, French team, but I believe, FPC is the same as Foudre, isn't it? It should be. As they have a couple of riders that will bring them up the table here. We looked at the top of the broadcast of the standings. I believe Foudre was in 5th, if I remember correctly. So they're having a good day out here so far. But Speed Potatoes have been untouchable, to be fair. They've been what Gabby Guerra has been to women's racing. The Speed Potatoes have been collectively as a group in the Prestige Series here.
See if we can get a look back a little ways here, as I am wondering where a few of our more popular riders, and a big kick here though coming from Vidar Mail with this beast mode team. This is interesting. What is the motivation here? I am seeing the beast mode situation maybe make some changes here real quick. Our little screen wasn't helping us out here too much, but currently the Speed Potatoes there 297, right? As it stands on course, 251 if things finished as they are, right? Then we've got Rose Beast Mode, and they're swapping up SZ and Beast Mode right on top of each other for a top 3 here to be in the money. So look at how it's changing up. And with that situation, with SZ having riders together with Beast Mode riders, there's going to be a lot of motivation to play a lot of games for that second place out there today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I apologize. I was wrong about Foudre. They probably will end up 5th, though, when today is over. But right now they came in at 9th place. And you're 100% right, Nathan. Rose Beast Mode's got some work to do. That's the real race, isn't it, for between Swedish Swifters and Beast Mode?
Yeah, 100%. You know, now over with the women now, as things calm down in and amongst the men here at this point, let's go ahead and take a look real quick and head back on over, see where things are at. And it's going to be Guerra here still off the front as these boys are going to make their way over for the lap. We'll get in with the KOM in a moment and see what happens with that, as well as I have a feeling that Sersky and Najala are really going to be pressing the pace out there. But Guerra now 6 point something watts per kilogram. Only 49 seconds, though. She hasn't opened up a minute fully, so it's come back a little bit, I think, here with Alberg.
I tell you, I mean, that's a shock to me. I would have given 10-1 odds that gap was over a minute from Gabby back to second. So that's the force of Camilla Alberg that we're talking about, Swedish Swifters rider, who, you know, it's down to 48 seconds here. This is not over. Camilla, it's going to be interesting. Does it get under 30 seconds? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Right? If Camilla's going to make this catch, she's not going to do it in the next 200 meters. She's going to have to do it through the rest of the race. But I would not. I know the odds would be long, Nathan, but this would not be, and I realize it's your wife that we're talking about, but this would not be a bad time to take 40-1 odds on Camilla Alberg to make the catch.
You'd be pretty cool to actually see. I got to say, I have been cheering for her a little bit, with pushing each other. And you know, they try and take on Mary-Kate McCarthy every single weekend, and there's kind of, I think, a little bit of an unsaid, like, battling each other, and then also, like, trying to hit that star, that North Star that's, like, right, that Mary-Kate is trying to set up for them. So it's an interesting situation, actually, the way that they play against each other and get stronger and stronger here. Up and over the top, nice little kick from her. 164, lower heart rate, though, it feels like, for her.
Yeah, and she seems like she might be starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel out there, where we haven't looked at Gabby on screen for a little while, but I'd imagine she's really in a rhythm. And again, this is a place that Gabby's quite comfortable. Gabby Guerra is comfortable being uncomfortable on a bike. Here's another rider that can dig deeper than any other human being I know. It's Mina Koskinen here, the Finnish rider, still chasing in third spot, but not that far back. Actually, Nathan, it's only a few seconds. Well, make it 13 seconds from her up to the Swede Alberg.
And then there's Gallegos. This is just one after another. This is showing us exactly how incredibly difficult this course has been out here today, hasn't it, Dave? I mean, the reality of how hard these athletes are pushing and how much this has blown things apart. It's like a grenade has gone off. And I think that's partially because of how hard Gabby made it from the get-go, too.
Yeah, that's one of the more interesting puzzles to solve in this sport, is how do you handle a rider like Gabby in the early going and play your cards right to be there in the finish to get the best result possible for yourself and your team. And Elise is We've talked about her at the beginning of the broadcast, and just continues to be she's got all those mom watts. She's got all the motivation watts. She's got the historical precedence of, being a longtime triathlete. So that's her in fourth spot now. Mika Soderstrom, we're looking at here, sitting fifth wheel. Again, maybe the course that doesn't suit Mika perfectly, but she's so fierce, such a fighter. And actually, Mika's the kind of rider that's better on the third lap.
Well, and look, she was actually able to get rid of Liz Van Houweling, interesting enough. So it's currently Mika sitting in fifth position. And Van Houweling now, just a little ways back, 33 seconds. Now, Van Houweling's motivation, I think, out here at this point is going to be trying to hold off this chase pack now at this point, because at 228, 250, 155 beats per minute, the chase pack 132, she's got this no problem. So actually, she's got a target maybe with Mika out there if she's reserving a little bit of something.
Well, one thing I think, Nathan, that's starting to become clear is that Swedish Zwifters, no matter what style of racing they've done today, they are going to make it very close with Rose Beast Mode. I recognize that Beast Mode is the team of Gabby Guerin. She looks like our odds-on favorite to win out here today. Again, we don't hand out the medals until the race is over, and the gap is holding at 49 seconds now. But Swedish Zwifters, Nathan, have a So is this looking at where the riders are scoring right now? It is.
Yes,
this
it
is
is
live scoring.
Live updating.
And so that's cool. That's very cool. So look at this. It's Elise Gallegos for Wahoo that's keeping them on top of the table here. Swedish Zwifters, I actually thought they would have been on top of the table. So who are the other Wahoo riders then that are supporting Elise?
Well,
the other
Mika, that's the thing. Mika actually is riding. It's confusing because Mika,
she's in Swedish jersey, but she's racing for Wahoo.
She's the national champion, but she races for Wahoo. Yeah, so that was something with the broadcast. Actually, that's on me a little bit too, because we want to figure out a way to include the team in some sort of way, but the identity through lead out, we're a newer platform, right? Really bringing that identity through. It's still becoming cohesive.
So it's funny. Yeah, and I've noticed, and I understand why, Nathan, but some of these riders have two different teams, right? A different team that they're like speed potatoes would be an example of that. Oh, it's all good at the end of the day, but it isn't good that I made a mistake. So I apologize. The Swedish champion is riding for Wahoo, which that explains everything for me. I was giving the Mika points to the Swedish team, not Wahoo. When you give them to Wahoo, you see what happens, right? So that explains from my perspective. I was wrong. I was so wrong, I was right.
Well, let's take a quick look here at what's happening in the men's race, because the attacks are on. The speed potatoes are up to it again, and it's Sirski and Jal off the front. The Norwegian boss now at this point on the Tron bike with the white there. Interesting. Does he have a Zwift ride? Because that's the only way you get one of those.
You have to. That's the Zwift ride activation. The other thing I noticed is that Gabby racing on that gold Tron is as cool as it gets. There's no cooler bike on Zwift in my mind than that gold Tron.
You really got to earn that one. That's the reality of that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's a reality with that. Looking at Jal here, his classic shirtless YouTube chat is going on, that's for sure. I love it. Now it looks like Neil Ferretta has something to say about that. Quickly bringing it back. Nicely done here from Freyette now. Jumping right on that wheel.
Speaking of gold Trons, there's Neil's in full display right now. The rider out of Seattle who always punches above his weight. He's not outside on the porch, though. Inside, as this is Neil right now that we're looking at in Washington State. Up
a little bit different
Pacific
situation
Northwest.
here from him. He usually is out on the balcony.
Yeah, this is something new. I wonder if he moved. Maybe he's on vacation somewhere, Nathan. Maybe he's up in Canada riding today. Either way, Sirski's the man to beat for me, Nathan. He has really come on strong. This is Ruben Daunt that we're looking at now. Go, Ruben, go.
He is absolutely smashing it, like attack after attack. Wow. What is going on? Do you know why? This is why. This is exactly why. Look behind. That is why everyone is going insane. It's everything to do with Pucker. Pucker looks red in the face here. Look at this. And you know what? It's hot in Wisconsin today. Look, he's so mad. He is so mad. Oh, no.
He's yelling at the
Come
screen.
on,
He's
Hayden.
yelling.
Let's go.
Like a raging
my
bull.
gosh.
So this Hayden Pucker, a.k.a. if you follow this sport, you're well aware of Farm Lots. Hayden's been a real fun character to follow, and he's got that fighter spirit, no question. Isn't it jiu-jitsu is the sport that he came from before he...
Taekwondo. It was Taekwondo.
Taekwondo. I'm sure he's so frustrated by that mistake. But he definitely found his sport with There's hitting the precision bottle, as he's been another one of the precision athletes that really helped bring some provenance to that brand. This is, again, Hayden Pucker, the American champion that we're with, but he's chasing that front group as Njal has now turned the tables on Ruben Dant. So Dant, 5 seconds behind Njal Pedersen, is right now he's scrambling here, 5th on the road. He's got another American right in front of him. It's a 4-second gap up to Neil Freyette. This is going to be a speed potato. That's Sierski, isn't it, Nathan, that we're looking? Nope, it's Njal Pedersen that we're looking at, our race leader right now. This is your gold standard out on course. The men on lap 2 got a long way to go. What a dynamic race. You know, Nathan, I love this course. 44 and a half, or let's call it 45 kilometers of racing. It's brutal. I mean, 20 of this minutes, you're not in the red zone, you're in the purple zone here on Box Hill. That's exactly what this Norwegian is doing, just body blow after body blow, being thrown by the Speed Potatoes team. Pedersen, a speed potato. His teammate, Ruben Dant, a speed potato. And then you've got another speed potato, 4th wheel. So there's only 3 riders that can score for your team, and they're holding on to 3 of the top 4 spots right now. They're potatoing back up. They're mashed potatoing.
I think it's every type of potato.
We'll be back in
Frites.
with the men in just a moment.
Time.
Well, the interesting thing with the men's situation here right now is that there's 4 battling for the $50 prize at the top. They're only a quarter way on it now. Pucker is dropped at this point, it looks like. They're going to be pushing a solid 6 watts per kilogram. That is not Najal. That is actually going to be Gabrielle Laguerre making her way up and over the top of the climb for the final time. 39.2 kilometers finished at 44.7 is the total. 59 minutes of racing down at this point. And you know what? I want to give a quick shout out here to this rider, though, who is out on course. We'll be coming back to Gabby in just a moment, because this is going to be Isa, and help me out here, Karwazuska. And she actually won this placing in the race, this entry into the race, actually. And,
this was the Gabby donation prize money.
No, actually,
recipient.
I think Sierski actually was the one who gave it to her. So
Oh,
I just wanted to give
she's
her a
Polish,
shout
I
out
see. Yep.
and say, thank you so much for racing with us, putting the effort in. Really awesome to see her out here racing with us and getting the effort in amongst some of the top athletes out there. I do know that she's definitely a big fan of the sport, and great to see her joining in with the Prestige crew. And it's a big effort to make it happen too.
Yeah, that's cool. And Nathan, the last name pronunciation, A+.
Thank you. I made
proud of you.
I worked on that one, definitely, that's for sure. Well, Gabby's coming over the top here. This is going to be one more time up the climb, up that little peak of the climb.
So now that this one is, I'm not going to say it's in the books, but if they catch Gabby, so be it. But was it the flu that she had, Nate? I mean, it's been going around America.
Yeah, what's interesting is, I don't know, our immune system's pretty dang good. So, like, a lot of people around us got sick, and then we just felt, like, off for a while. Yeah, off, but didn't get any serious symptoms. And so we don't know for sure, but 12 hours a day sleeping and not really able to ride, she's, oh, here we go, though. This is going to be the move. This is it. Ruben Dant now on the attack. This is for the big money, $50. I wouldn't say the big money, but it's definitely something, and he's going for it. Dant wants it, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, get it in euros. It's probably going to be about 42 euros. This is Ruben Dant. Ruben Dant can have some little wham, I call it, Nathan, walking around money. so he can buy some frites or whatever he wants when he's cruising around Bruges. Here we go. So Ruben Dant looks like he's going to, well, he's all in on it. That's for sure. 4-second advantage over Pedersen, his teammate. But I don't think that does the teammate thing even factor in right now, Nathan? It's man on man on man, right?
Oh, totally. They're all in to try and win it.
Yeah.
They don't care whose team you're on at this point. They just want to get the cash, and here we go. I think he's got this. He's got a solid 4 seconds. If he can hang on to the pace that he's setting here, Ruben Dant is going to make this one happen.
Yeah, I mean, he committed to it, and Ruben's the kind of guy that he can back up when he wants something. It's going to be awfully hard to keep his paws off at Ruben Dant in full effect. It's actually going out a little bit as Sierski. Huge fan of Paul Sierski here. And now Neil Freyette getting himself up back into the mix. That's good to see. This is going to be quite a race to the finish. Now, for the guys, this is their second time up Box Hill. Gabby's on her way to the finish line. She's within she can smell the coffee brewing down there now. These guys can't. They got a lot of racing ahead of them. Ruben Dant, Pavel Sierski, Neil Freyette, Njal Pedersen, Hayden Pucker, Johan Noren. These are the riders all animating and dictating out here on Box Hill today. But man, Ruben Dant, this effort, you scrape the bottom of the wattage barrel, don't you, Nathan, on this climb?
And I didn't think that he was going to be able to pull this off. Honestly, I was a little surprised that they let him get away with this, because Njal, well, here we go. Is there a kick? Because he is one that just does not usually let this sneak away, but it looks like today nothing can be done about it here. Maybe he's playing for the finish line instead, but Ruben Dant on fire, up and over the top. He's going to be taking down the $50.
What do you think, Nathan? Can Neil Freyette crush the speed potatoes today? Is it going to be smashed
this is
potatoes?
interesting. He's in between it all, too. Like, this is a really kind of cool situation.
I'm going to say, if you'll grant me access, I'm going to go all in for Neil here. I mean, he's the underdog for sure in this scenario. He's going up against three teammates on one of the greatest outfits that's ever been put together in esports. Here in Prestige, they've absolutely dominated. If Neil Freyette pulls off this one, and he's hanging right in there, Nathan, I'd call this the biggest upset in Prestige series history. Although he's such a talented rider, that's a little unfair to Neil, isn't it? Because it makes it sound like he's punching above his weight.
He's got to be smart, though. He's got to be really smart. Yeah. But, I mean, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them. 5, 6. Look at this. All of these guys are all world contenders, every one of them. So,
sure, but he is too. Neil has been a silver medal winner. And so the thing I'd say, or you were agreeing with that.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing I'm saying is that even though they're three speed potatoes, they might all be, one might be a russet potato, one might be a red potato, and one might be a Yukon Gold. I don't think they're the same potatoes. So they race for their own result here. Paul Sierski wants to beat Ruben Dant today. That's not unhealthy. There's nothing wrong with that. Njal Pedersen wants to beat Pavel Sierski. Neil Freyette wants to beat all of them. This is what racing should be. This is exactly what we're looking for. I love me some Prestige Series, Nathan. This kind of racing has been so fun. The individual dynamic, the team dynamic, or the squad, we call it here. These are all speed potatoes that we're looking at right now. So, but do you get my joke about the kinds of potatoes? Ultimately, they're racing for their own result here.
Yeah, 100%. Well, the interesting thing here with Freyette now is that he gets to just sit on and they keep on trying to drop him, it looks like to me just a moment ago. I'm going to actually bring in Guerra. She is finishing up, it looks like here. Gabriella Guerra going to take down her second Prestige. She raced 3 of the races out here today. Right? Is it 3? Yeah, she's going to be taking down her third then. Excuse me, because it was, she skipped the first one, jumped in for the final 3, and she's going to take down the win again in a breakaway situation. It was Richmond, it was Innsbruck, and now again makes her way to London, and Guerra takes it down with another decisive walkaway performance. Alberg trying to hang on, Koistinen as well tried to make it work, but unable to do so. Probably a little bit of frustration, though, not bringing Koistinen into the fold to some of these teams out there, most likely, because Koistinen here suddenly showing up on the back half of the Prestige Series, snatching up some points that are going to go to no squads.
Camilla Ahlberg is going to be our silver standard unless Mina finds a booster rocket to strap on to her bike here, because it's about 20 seconds between those two. So all hail the queen, as Gabby Guerra is your champion. I'm so impressed by her. Gabby, 3 starts, 3 wins. The first race came right after World Championships in Dubai, and there's a very good reason for her to have to miss the first one. So all credit due. Gabby, you're a machine. This is going to be Ahlberg that we're looking at now. I've become a big fan of Camilla Ahlberg. We're going to hear a lot more from this woman. She will be the best in esports in that group of the best in esports. With a world championship is not out of reach in her career. This is great to see Camilla Ahlberg finishing strong here.
Yeah, nicely done. And I'm really excited to see the battles here from Ahlberg over the next year. To see her come out so hot after, a 4th place at Worlds, and it was her and Tomasi that final lap at Worlds and the upset, because she made such, it was a double time Dave Toll fortune favors the brave, and just one of them flipped the better dice almost on when they went.
Wow.
And Tomasi ended up getting that bronze, but it just came down to, and some of it came down to just the points of some of the other riders that were being scooped up rather than anything else. So amazing job here. Ahlberg, I think some extra motivation and fire in the gut there after taking that 4th place. And now here comes Koistinen also on the, you call it, I don't know if you call it a comeback. I just call it a, baby
how
power.
She rolls. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, there you get a great look at the. Nathan, have you ever been to Scandinavia? Has Finland made your travel list?
It's
you've been to Iceland.
Places. I've been to Iceland.
That counts.
Belgium.
Iceland counts as Scandinavia, I believe. I'm 90% sure that you could say you've been to Scandinavia. But Finland is a special country. Well, you know how we know that? Because of Sisu. Well, that's something we really learned about last few years. Well, she's got her Sisu. This woman has Sisu too. Elise Gallegos here. I'm surprised that there's not a Texas flag up on the wall there too. Gotta love Elise, and another solid ride for her.
Look at how hard Mika is working, head down. I mean, she's like just, you can see the grit. Is someone chasing her? No, she just wants to work for it. Gotta love it. Nice job, Mika.
For me, it just doesn't get better than Mika Soderstrom. From the first time I saw her race, I've always been a fan of this woman. All heart. She's out there doing major gravel events as well. Truly champion.
Coming across in
riding
6th
as
place.
Swedish champion.
Really nice.
And remembering, Nathan, the team, the squad aspect, the 2 riders we just featured here on the women's side, they're going to take it looks like, for the Wahoo team. So good on them, Wahoo ladies. Elise Gallegos, Mika Soderstrom, and we'll get back to that because the guys are getting down to it now. Transition zone as spent some time on Box Hill, but you got to make the lap back through London here, around and under the Thames.
Wait a second. What is going on here?
That's Neil, Ruben,
Tucker was like coming back, kind of. He got a little bit of time back, and now they're like looking at each other. Yeah. I mean, this is interesting. And if there's someone who can make something like this happen, it's going to be Farm Watts, right? I mean, the guy's got endless speed, power. I mean, just pure power, and they're attacking each other up there. They're kind of messing around. What kind of situation that's going to put them in? The other thing is, what's going on with Paul Sirski? What is he doing back here? They lost one.
He's gone. We're missing a potato here. He's down to 7, so had to have had a mechanical technical issue at 147 back. Something dramatic happened there. Freyette, Pedersen, Daunt, Pucker at 17. So Pucker was closing in. He had it down to 15, but it looks like it's going to be holding at 18 now. It's the 3 riders of the apocalypse off the front. We're going to go back to the women, though, and pick up Liz Van Houweling's finish. Another esteemed esports athlete here. And mom. She gets the mom points, too.
Yeah, I'd love to see a great effort for a 6th place here in the final of the Prestige Series presented by her team. So a home series for her. Great to see. Nice job out there, Liz, and thanks for joining us for the first season. Now, we do have a group sprint, though, coming in here, it looks like, and the kicks are going to start. Larson now, and this is an SZ situation. Dave, really quickly, what is the situation here for SZ? Is this going to actually make any kind of difference? Becca, what are they battling out here for? SZ versus, is Beast Mode in there? They are. They're with them. Look at this. 295, 291.
That's the story. Second and third. Battle Royale here into our finale. Swedish Swifters trying to get out in front of it here. Beast Mode's going to have to press.
Yeah, and it is going to be here. Now we can see Larson, and this is for that 2nd place overall. There's cash on the line for this here. Electric Spirit Company, they're not going to do anything about it. What is happening? Sitting at the back, Rose Beast Mode, not even making a move, and Larson's going to walk away.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge because they've already got the Allberg points. Those have been logged. This is going to be, it's all Swedish Swifters now.
Yeah,
so
as
good
you
for
can
them.
see, Swedish Swifters, this is how they roll, isn't it? Up and out of the saddle now, Lisa Hermanson, though, and she's actually in a Wahoo kit, interesting enough. So that's, it can be a little bit confusing there, can it? Because of these situations with the way that these riders are.
You couldn't do that any better for us, though. Actually, the fact that she's wearing a Wahoo kit, racing for Swedish Swifters, where we have the Swedish champions jersey racing for Wahoo, perfect.
Well, I think actually Hermanson's actually riding for Wahoo.
Was she riding for Wahoo?
Yeah,
okay.
I think she is. I actually think she is. But I have a feeling, looking at this, they made it happen. As we're going to get one more sprint here across the line. Kalman's also there. London. What's going to happen between them with Electric Spirit Company currently sitting in that 5th place, looking for a couple extra points, but Sarah London here now going to make the move.
This is perfect. A strong finish here. Swedish Swifter is going to try to take 2nd overall after 4 prestige races. It's these kind of efforts that make a difference out here. This is how you separate the wheat from the chaff. No doubt about it. Some great esports racing going on Zwift out here. This course is perfect for today.
Wow, here comes some restart riders now. Brutson, Gino's here. What's Gino going to do? You always got to love a Gino sprint.
Yeah.
This is great. Now sitting right on the wheel, the lead out is there. Kerber Smith, Electric Spirit Co. trying to come through as well. But here comes Randy Gino up and out of the saddle. And that's the classic Gino we like to see.
Yeah, this woman has made her name in this beautiful sprint that she puts together. Nobody digs deeper. Charging to the line. It looks like she's just going to hold on here. Done and dusted. Randy Gino, the people's champion.
Nicely done. Good
she
job.
She needs to
Randy.
try harder, Nathan. I wish she
Chat's
gave a little bit
freaking
more.
out. The chat is absolutely going crazy for her sprints at this point.
She's a very popular rider. It's cool to see how sometimes someone just strikes a chord with the public. And I would say, well, one of our colleagues is a big Randy Gino fan. Becca, that was all classic Randy Gino moment right there.
Yeah, it was nice to see her sprinting because I know she went super early when we were in Innsbruck. And I've known Randy for a while. And I texted her afterwards, like, what happened? Come on. That was not the Randy Gino I thought I would see. And she was like, I had nothing. So I just went early. But this is the type of caginess that I expect from Randy in a sprint, where it's all about positioning and all about only putting out the effort that you need to and then blasting it. I think, Nathan, you talked a long time ago about a 2-part sprint where you go at like 90% until you get a response from everyone else, and then you give that extra 10% at the end. And Randy is just a master of that. So it was good to see that.
Yeah, she really is. Really cool to see. Nicely done there by her. Now, jumping across here, I think we lost our graphics. Nice one there, production. I'm not sure why you're doing that. But look here, now at this situation, Sersky, he was dropped. Now he's starting to battle it out with these riders behind. But Neil Freyette and Ruben Dant are... now, this is interesting. I don't think that... What's going on here, Dave, at the front now? Pucker's been like this yo-yo. Goes to 10, back to 17. Then these guys are back and forth, throwing it down up against each other. Dant already took down the KOM, which tells me, is Dant the strongest man on the day? Which is not something I would have been expecting. What a bounce back as well after Worlds.
Well, I'm going to say that yes. Or a cagey Neil Freyette is giving him all the rope he needs, if you know what I mean. I think that what they're not doing is worrying about Hayden Pucker. They are racing each other right now. It's just a clash of swords at the front. And I have a feeling Neil Freyette, I called it early, but I just have a feeling like today's going to be his day.
Oh, man. Can he make it happen
It's going to be awesome.
here?
I mean, Nathan, this is why we do this. Are you not entertained? This is the unbelievable racing going on here. The dynamic of these three, it's really not about, so the top team in Prestige, without a doubt, men or women, has been the Speed Potatoes. Speed Potatoes are so good that at some point it becomes a battle amongst potatoes. And Ruben Dant right now, the Belgian, who's been a top 5 rider for a long time in this sport. Ruben Dant is not quite an OG, but he made that second wave of esports riders really right at the beginning of COVID when the sport took a huge leap forward. Jarl Pedersen is much fresher to the sport. Or I would say, Nate, you can correct me where I'm wrong, please, but I'm going to say he's really less than 2 years of competing at this level. Neil Freyette, much more like Ruben Dant. He's been doing this since the beginning of COVID for the most part. So the new actor in this play is definitely going to be Jarl Pedersen, but he's shown up like an absolute monster. This Norwegian has been crushing souls left, right, and center, and it repeatedly. But today, maybe we see the Empire striking back in Neil Freyette. We talked about the fact he's in Washington State. He lives in Seattle. He's been a part of his community on the road and in esports. He's just a tremendous individual and truly an easy guy to root for here, especially in this scenario where he's outnumbered by these potatoes. Not saying they're evil potatoes, but they definitely have this dominant apex predator role in this sport. So it's hardly an upset, but it's a day for the underdog in the scenario.
Look at what was going on there. Did you see how they went over the top? So, look, Dant went, right? After Dant went, before they hit the underground there, up and over the top, and I love your assessment there, too, of who each one of these are. And they actually, it's kind of like looking at, a situation of like super old guard, Neil Freyette. Ruben Dant's kind of that middle of the road. He was a newcomer, made his mark, and now in the Jarl's this new, like super new blood, young Jedi jumping into it now. And Dant, now that's the situation. And Freyette's stuck between this. Dant goes, Jarl sits, Freyette chases, Jarl goes over the top. Are they going to do that again is going to be the big question.
Body blow after body blow after body blow, Nathan. It's exactly what we want to hear on the climb, because that's going to be Freyette coming back and matching Dant. Both Ruben Dant and Neil Freyette have extensive in real life racing experience. They know the tactics extremely well. I'm not sure about Jarl Pedersen's background, but Nathan, seeing him on whatever type of esport bike he's on, it doesn't look to me like he comes from a classical road racing background. That's neither a plus nor a minus in esports. Esport has some obvious similarities to cycling, but it's not entirely the same thing. But a rider like Neil Freyette is an example of someone who can do both quite well. Neil Freyette just, you wouldn't see Neil climbing like this much unless he was going up the side of Mount Rainier, because now the pedal stroke, the speed starting to increase, and so does the intensity here. As this is going to be interesting. How much is this going to come down to the Speed Potatoes if they race against Neil Freyette as two teammates? They have a much better chance of beating him than if they race for their own outcome. But I don't know that they're going to be able to do that here. It's not a selfish thing, but when you're working this hard, this deep into a race, you really can't think about anything more than your own suffering, your own pain, how deep you're digging. There's not much that Ruben Dant probably thinks about what he can do for Jarl Pedersen right now. He's trying to keep his own head above water. He doesn't want to drown here. And that's really what benefits Neil Freyette is these guys aren't teammates. They're both racing for the win.
It's really interesting, Dave, this situation between these three, because they're really starting to play some games here. And I think
who does it benefit?
I think it benefits Neil. Right. I think it actually benefits Neil.
Yes,
I think the other two. Oh, look at that! I was not expecting that. A little bit of kick there from Neil. Oh, just playing game. This is so cat and mouse, just really messing around. But here we go. There it is.
That
there
last
it is.
30 seconds.
Full gas now. It looks like here coming from our man.
They have lime-flavored far water in Norway now. That's good to know. This is going to be, Nathan, one of these. So the pace had dropped enough.
I had no idea what you were talking about. I was like, what is he even, where is this coming from? And it's the water bottle on his table. Lionel Viasen hanging out in chat.
Yeah.
Good to see the Duck, Mr. Viasen, hanging out. He says, Najal, put a shirt on. He said, wear a jersey. I gotta love it. These guys love each other, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Lionel Viasen come join us the next round of racing. I miss that guy for sure. So this is going to be Neil Freyette. That's not a smile. That's a grimace, just so you know. It looks like he's smiling at a neighbor, doesn't it? But he is deep in the pain cave at this point, doing everything he can to hold off these guys. I love the beard that he's got going for his avatar.
Yeah. Becca, situation here. You know, we've been trying to make predictions on who's going to win out in this situation where it's potatoes, the speed potatoes versus the Freyette situation. The Golden Tron, I mean, there's only one guy here with the Golden Tron, right? I mean, he knows what he's doing.
It was interesting. I almost felt like Najal and Ruben were playing like you would on a sprint if you had two in your team and one on another, where one goes, the other tries to block, and then waits for the reaction. And I think Neil played into it a little bit while we were going into the escalator. And I think he just has no more Fs to give. And he's just determined that he has to make his own race. So I think that was a good move by him, not to have to respond, not to have to peak, at 10 watts a kilo again and again, instead just laying it down and making them chase. So I think that was a good move.
I can never tell if he's smiling or is he suffering?
He's not smiling. Have
you heard the psychology though?
Yeah. Well, so the one thing I would say to both of you is this is really a great example of offense being the best defense. Right now, Neil Freyette's doing himself a tremendous favor. He's not being attacked over and over by these, because you're 100% right, Becca. The tactic here, the technique is just you take turns attacking. You just keep Neil chasing, keep him chasing, and then eventually one of you will go away clear. But the problem is both of these guys want to be that one. And then it doesn't work anymore. So right now, Neil Freyette is keeping the pace fast enough that neither of them really want to attack over the top. He's riding a brilliant race, Nathan. Perfect job from Freyette.
Absolutely. Seriously amazing job. But these guys, they are all in to try and break him over and over again. Daunt kicks to 12 watts per kilogram. Freyette right back on the wheel. What a race here. They just keep throwing everything, including his kitchen. Najal might be broken. They might have broken Najal. I see him go to nothing here for just a moment. No, he comes back. He had a ton of speed. He had the speed. Now up over the top, actually. No, I was so wrong. Here he goes with the counterattack. So smart with the roll through speed. Look at that, 50 kilometers per hour. Neil Freyette right back on it.
Freyette right on that wheel and up and over the top. Here we go. It's turning into, Freyette. Holy cow. So, Becca, I'm going to give you a homework assignment here, but it has immediacy to it. On paper, if they go to the line as a group of three, which one of them has the best 10, 15 seconds in them out here? Who do you think wins if this is a 3-up sprint? I'll let you do some research. Rebecca probably already knows her answer to that. But yeah, obviously, I'm going with my heart with Neil Freyette here today. It's an underdog thing, not an American thing, just to be clear.
Well, Freyette actually wasn't on the starting list, so I don't even have his numbers, but I'm going to go look him up.
Okay, thanks, Becca. And I was just kidding about giving you homework, but I think it's good. I think on the paper it might be Neil. What's your gut instinct, Nathan?
My gut is it's Neil. My gut is it's Neil, but Neil says no. He says that's not even what we're doing. He goes full gas. I love it. Forget the sprint. I'm not a sprinter any longer. There's a reason why this guy. Oh my God!
I heard you telling Becca last or 2 weeks ago that downhills are the new uphill. This right here, right now, is that moment.
Brad's got 3 seconds. How is this happening? He's breaking the speed potatoes. The guy's brought his fork in a microwave. They're getting softened out on course today.
Oh, my goodness. They've been in the oven wrapped in foil for 4 hours. The potatoes are done. Someone get them out and get some butter in them. because this is not going to be good if they can't make this catch and make it quickly, and they know that, and they are. So this is going to be one of the best finales we've seen in the modern era of esports. Prestige series coming in hot. This is the new star on the scene. The absolute legend is Njal Pedersen, racing out of Norway. He's gotten up onto the wheel of our man Neil Freyet. Neil, I don't even know the team for Neil today, Nathan. I've been talking so much about this man out of Seattle, Washington. But I believe he's racing as an individual in our series here. There's a lot of riders on squads, and I apologize for that.
No, because you're going to be 100% right there, because Neil was not a part of the Prestige Series up to this point. Yes, so you're 100% right. He will not have a squad for him to be riding with. So,
God's over the top, Nathan.
What the heck?
What's going on?
What is this? Are you kidding me? He was dropped a second ago, and then rather than do anything else, he jumps right on the wheel. This is insane.
Well, and I tell you what, Nathan, Ruben Daunt is showing the quality of character and how much heart he has. This young man, and relatively young, probably about the same age as Hayden Pucker, to tell you the truth. But Ruben Daunt right now is just trying to get some more oxygen into the muscles here, because Neil Freyet is not going to be denied. Neil Freyet is an absolute watt monster out here, a human watt blowtorch at this point, as he's and again, he's benefiting greatly from the fact that I don't know that Daunt and Njal Pedersen are racing with each other or against each other, and it really doesn't even matter at this point, as we're down to just a couple kilometers to sort this in out. May the strongest man win, or is it the smartest man, or a combination of both out here? That's what esports is all about. Taking a look at Pedersen back on the attack. How many of these brutal attacks can Neil Freyet weather here? I mean, they are doing what Becca was talking about to a certain extent, Nathan, taking turns attacking. It was Daunt, now it's Pedersen. This time Pedersen trying to crack the code.
Ooh, has he done it? He might have done it. He might have done it here at this point. Now, Daunt, though, what is Daunt doing? Is Daunt going to bring him back?
Chasing,
this is interesting.
Freyet's catching a break right now. He needs to get up on that wheel. He's got to get up on that wheel. Here's his chance. This is going to be huge. Right now, coming up out of the escalators, like under the River Thames and back up into the city streets of London, and Neil Freyet is in a fight for his life, and Nathan, he's gotten onto the wheel of Daunt. This might backfire on the potatoes. This is still going to go to the line. Njal Pedersen is completely at his limit. This is going to be brilliant. What a finale we've got coming here.
You know what I love about Njal Pedersen is that he doesn't give in. Even when it's that moment, he knows the moment, and he says, no, I'm going to continue. And that was 1K. It right there. That moment right there, he broke them. It's going to be Pedersen again.
Unreal how strong this Norwegian, the god of thunder, Thor Watts, we're looking at now. As he did it, Nathan, he broke them. It's 7 seconds inside. We're going to come up on half a K to go. Freyet and Daunt should be racing for a silver medal here. Njal Pedersen is showing you he is the man of prestige.
Wow, this is absolutely insane. The move that he moved.
What a race
there,
today.
Up and over the top, over and over again. Body blow after body blow, as you would say there, Dave. And finally, the casket opens. And Freyet
was this the best of the series, Nathan? Was this the most exciting?
The action up front, it was kind of one of those, okay, it's going to be a race of attrition type situation. But because of the way this played out with the right actors out here today, I'd have to say, yes, this was the best.
Neil Freyet was the hot sauce that we needed for this one. Even though he doesn't get the win, man, did he make this even more interesting to watch. Pedersen. That's going to be the end of that. I mean, I guess the finale, the last 300 meters don't do justice to how insane today was out here on Box Hill.
And with a little bit of lead in there, I do see that it's a little bit over. Sorry about the distance there, everybody. But look at this. Nicely done. Yeah.
Good job, y'all.
Up in the air with his signals to the sky. Nicely done. Killing it. With what kind of water is that?
Bar water. Yep.
And here we go. The big kick coming in from the man that we said was a sprinter, and he's going to make it happen. But Daunt, he did the work he was supposed to. Second place, it looks like, is going to be coming in for Freyet, and Daunt's going to roll in. for third.
Biggest surprise for me is that Hayden Pucker in fourth, because I would have thought that was Pavel Sierski's spot. Sierski got back up into fifth, but Hayden Pucker, real fighter there, the pride of Wisconsin. He lives only within a couple hours drive of where
Not
you
even.
are.
He's only
Not even?
Yeah, he's like he comes over once in a while. Yeah, we nice job there to Farm Watts. I think he had a tough day a little bit out there today, but nicely done. Great job.
His
Now back
days are
into
to
Sierski.
come. He'll have his moments in the sun. I have a feeling that in the next 2 years, Hayden Pucker's got a world championship. We'll see. It's going to be fun for him, though, to keep fighting, keep battling. The kid's got a lot of heart. This is going to be Sierski coming in, the third and final speed potato to score today, and they will be our squad champions without any question. They made the math easy for someone like me, Nathan.
Taking a quick look here as they come across. As
this Polish rider that was one of the revelations of the World Championships this year, I would say, in Dubai. Is that fair, Nathan? One of the riders that really made their mark?
By far. Now, who's up and over the top here? Is that going to be beast mode? It's Vidar Mail. Whoa, what a kick here. It's been a while since I've seen this guy put this kind of an effort in. But Vidar, great to see.
Big day for Norway
Yeah.
out here.
Nice one.
Vidar, another legend, although racing for beast mode, noted. But Vidar has been one of the top 10 esports racers for the entire time the sport's existed. Mr. Zach Nair across the line.
Second place in that little group sprint there. Nice job to Zach. Laverick now across the line, the next one to see. Great to see Laverick showing up with us today. Cheers, Mr. Ed. Nice job out there. Is that a top 10? That's an 8th place, I think, or something like that. Nicely done there for Ed.
Bringing them all home. Top 30 score and prestige.
Oh, yeah,
there's certainly more than just winning.
There's a plenty still to go there for them. And, giving an idea here, we'll take a look at the squad standings. For individual results, you have to head over
Day,
to...
right? The Foudre? I believe it's Max.
Max?
Day, the Foudre rider coming through. What kind of bike has he got going here?
Oh, that's Drycott. This is Drycott. We're looking at Nicholas Drycott. No, that's okay. Max is out there, though, somewhere. We'll find
another
him,
Foudre rider. Again, though, Nathan, that bike is something else.
That's one of the Halo bikes. That thing's amazing.
Right.
It's pretty cool, actually. Anderson, Pettinger battling it out back here. Mark Santo, I want to say thank you to everyone who put the effort in to have their cameras on screen with us today. Here's Mark Santo riding in for that Rose Beast mode.
Mark.
Yeah, I really appreciate I know it's a big effort, and I know everybody here. I mean, the other thing is, like, all of the athletes that are out here that are racing at this level, there is a huge commitment. I'm not, and anyone who's just starting to see cycling esports. Dave, you came into this 2017 with me. Earlier than that, obviously, was Zwift, but with me and what we were doing at Zwift Community Live and how you've seen it evolve. I mean, from someone's perspective that doesn't necessarily race amongst it, what would you say for, like, looking, I wouldn't say from the outside, from being a part of the culture, but the racers? What do you say about what these athletes are building and how much commitment they have to have?
Well, that's a really great question, Nathan. And honestly, the landscape of the sport is so much healthier now because these athletes are taking responsibility by paying a small entry fee to be a part of these races. But also, as you said, there's a burden of responsibility to compete at this level. It takes just like getting that camera up. That would be really tough for me to do personally, just managing all the electronics. And we see the riders have made a commitment to the sport, and to be fair, it's exactly that word, fair. They recognize that to have a competition where they all walk away feeling good about the racing, that was on the up and up. And I truly believe that Prestige Racing has found that. Other events have as well, but it's been a journey to get to the point where you can believe that the results are real and that the athletes are being rewarded for actual efforts. We've reached that point. And today's racing was a really good example of, I didn't even think about anything except the racing while it was going on. There was no reason to think, what kind of trainer is that guy on? Or any of those sort of very counterproductive thoughts to have if you're just here to enjoy watching racing or being a part of racing. You can really commit. Does that make sense? I mean, you can really go all in on just believing we're racing and just think about that. It's nice.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, the evolution of this has been absolutely crazy to see how far this has come from just rolling around some virtual worlds now to this point where, you know, a lot of these athletes, it's their, like, some full-time gigs as well as some of them, you know, they're full-time sports, and who would have ever thought that that was the way that things were going to be going. So amazing job to all these guys and gals showing up out here, making
and it's
season
them,
one
isn't
what
it, Nathan? It's the athletes themselves that took responsibility for their own sport, along with things like the prestige broadcast. And I know, to be fair to my Whoosh and Sunday Race Club, they've done their best to try to work through all of these issues, but create a professionalism and a platform for athletes to be professional esport athletes like Gabby Guerra or Kate McCarthy or Jason Osborne, or there's a good 20 Kristen Kolchinskis, the names that you can put in that group. And they're all deserve to be there. They've done their time building the sport and propping this up and doing it honestly with diligence and respect.
Daniel Mundell, great to see him out here riding for Restart. Absolutely love it. I actually raced with him in Cat 2 on my Whoosh, and very strong athlete. Always on the watch out for him. So nice job with the top 20 for him. It's going to be Rose Beast Mode following up just a little ways behind. It's trying to get some results in here, everybody, for you as these riders do come on in. It is going to be our man, though. There he is. Dean Cunningham, who's making this happen for us out here today.
I thought you were saying Andrew Downey. He's my man. The Restart rider presented by Alex Coe. It's nice to see the representation globally out here as well. It's quite a mix that we've got in both our men's and women's race. I saw that Holden Camo raced today with us as well. Good to have Holden out here. That's about as OG as you get. He's not too far behind
either. There he is. I think he even connected to the Zoom. I'd love to see if he is hanging out with us. You know who else is here with us? And battling his way to the top here, it is going to be the man himself, James Barnes. He's got a little dinosaur.
Right on.
You see that little dinosaur? I just saw a dinosaur in his name. He's got a dino in there. I love it.
Hey, James. I think someone voted him the nicest guy in sports, not just esports. Talking about the South African in New Zealand.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put my tip my hat to that too. Got to be.
There is a dinosaur. You're right. How did he do that?
There is definitely a dinosaur.
You want to find a better human being than James Barnes? If you do, please let me know, because I'll be amazed. Probably won't believe you.
Come on, James. You're going to take it home for us out here today, 23rd currently. Whew, Becca, we need to help you out there. Ouch. We've got a little bit of cough coming on through.
Sorry. I tried to mute
Becca. And,
I think Becca had the flu as well.
Yeah, sounds like it's rough one over there. Hey, Becca.
Yeah, it's the plague. I didn't even realize you guys had my mic on this whole time. I was just waiting for you guys to hand me. I was like,
until you coughed, we didn't hear a thing. So.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And actually, it's funny. I thought the cough was James Barnes. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Nathan? That was kennel cough. That's what the racers sound like.
That's 100% on production, so I knew exactly who it was. That was coffee. But oh man.
Can I make a comment about the way Gabby's racing?
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
So, Dave, you had commented about rowing, and I think you know that I rowed through college, and I love the sport. And it's interesting because Gabby seems to be racing in this series like a rower, which is get out front and control the race. That is definitely, like in every rowing race, you can control from the front. So you put in a big effort in order to create a gap or to take seats, racing side by side usually. And then you control it. You take down your stroke rate, you take down your power until such time that you can react, and you react to what's coming at you from behind, because everyone can see behind you when you're rowing because you're going backwards. And so it feels like Gabby's racing like that. Like she gets out front and then she just monitors the gap. She's like, what do I have to do? And it's interesting to see, because unless you have that power, you can't really do that. So I think it's fascinating.
Well, that is an awesome and interesting comment, Becca. And I wanted to, on top of that, there is a movie that you could find on YouTube now that's really about the heyday of Eddie Merckx. And it's called La Course en tête. And it means racing from the front. That's what Eddie Merckx did. I mean, it wasn't rowing, but it was the same mindset, is exactly what you're talking about. Establish control, set let everybody know who the apex predator is, and then let them come for you. And one by one, you pick them off, right? That's a champion's mindset, that's for sure. What did you think about that comment and compare, that one skull versus a boat of four? That's pretty, well, here's Holden finishing now. Thank you for racing, Holden.
Yeah, I mean,
could
definitely
one individual rower hold off a boat of four? Like a special
not unless
rower.
Yeah, not unless it was an Olympic rower and high school kids.
Again, or Dave Tolles.
But rowing is more about efficiency. So you're not saving anything by being in the back. Everybody in the boat needs to pull the same. Or if you're in a 4 or an 8, if only one person stops pulling, then the boat will start to drift in a certain direction, and then you have to steer. And the drag created by steering actually is a significant disadvantage. So it's not efficiency saving in the same way as a draft, but you do have to pull less hard with 4 people to go the same speed as a single rider would have to pull in order to maintain that speed. So,
you ready to do Prestige Rowing Series, Nathan? Or are we going to stick with the esports?
There was there's rowing. It's in the air, the rowing thing that we saw rowing over at World Championships. Whoosh was promoting it actually, and
Jason Osborne is a rower. He comes from. Wasn't he an Olympic medalist in rowing? I believe a silver medal winner in his time. So
yeah, so I mean, there's definitely something there. Definitely.
I don't know if there's a sport with more similarities to cycling esports than rowing esports. It's just a little more full body, probably.
But
this was a great way to.
Go ahead.
It's a little ironic because rowing is always short, right? Like the longest races in rowing are shorter than the shortest races in biking.
Right.
So, but there's
you need to find a river that's 50 kilometers long. That you could navigate. I think that's why. Isn't that the distance? The longest straight stretch on the Thames is sort of the distance that they have used internationally for rowing for a long time, I believe.
We're just off on the whole. I love it. A
lot of rowing.
Becoming the rowing thing.
Lots of rowing.
Yeah.
Well, hey everybody, that was one of the absolute best. Real quickly, you guys, what are your thoughts on how things played out? The comment on Gabby, how she's racing. I wanted on the women's side of things, Becca, Camila Alberg she's got some big results coming behind Gabby. Camila, who's your standout that you see maybe making a breakthrough into that like podium range on a regular basis at the top level? Maybe like where did you see anything break out through Prestige here from some of those riders?
I mean, I think that Elise Gallegos, I haven't been watching my whoosh, so I haven't been seeing her race as much, but each race I was a little surprised by her performance in a absolutely positive way. And I think she's just gone from more of an Ironman mentality to she's able to sprint. She's able to hit those short distances, the 2 to 5 minute, the 15-second, and the long power. That's a devastating combination. So I think not like she's an unknown, but it's been very impressive to see.
Yeah, at least definitely. I have to agree with you big time that I would say the same thing. Elise Gallegos breakout ride for sure throughout this whole series. Dave, might have stole some of the thunder on the women's side of things. Anybody that you want to speak to that you saw throughout the series that kind of caught your attention?
Well, I mean, I think that that's a great question. And it's interesting because Elise, which is a fantastic answer, she's been working 3 years to be an overnight sensation kind of thing, right? And I think that she deserves so much credit for that. On the women's side, I really think that the Minna Koskinen story is the one that stands out for me. Again, an athlete that's non-traditional, that shows you that actually what really matters in this sport, and just about every sport I know, is heart. Either have it or you don't. And clearly she does.
Yeah, well, very cool racing and awesome to see what will come from all of the athletes. And I have a feeling we'll see some motivation as we see more leagues come down the road in the coming months to grow, not only from a participation point of view, but some carrots to chase for those ladies, that's for sure. Now, on the men's side of things, Becca, we'll come back to you again. We'll give you the lead on that. Breakout, surprises. What's your takeaway here from Prestige Season 1, and what are we looking forward to in the future?
I guess it's that I don't really like potatoes, and now I'm rethinking it. I'm just like, maybe there's something there. Maybe I should try another set, because clearly something's working for them. I mean, I know Najal's not an unknown name, but again, his performance has been pretty impressive. I think this race, I was going to discount him because I know he likes to go for those preems, and I was a little worried that he would go too hard and blow himself up, but he didn't. So go on potatoing.
Go on potatoes. It's all about the potatoes. Dave, you got anything to take away from the men's racing out there?
Where were you all season, Neil? That's
right.
My take.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Dave. I like that.
No, it's awesome to see Neil Frey at it. To be honest, he was, when I was doing my research this morning on Zwift Power, just doing my Becca due diligence. I don't even come close to understanding it the way Becca does, but I didn't see his name. So it was really, really cool to see him out racing. These are the pleasant surprises that eSport brings to you. And shout out Ruben Daunt as well. I've been a big fan of that young man. Ruben, to me, has always represented the true character of esports, and it's nice to see a Belgian out there every time.
Yeah, Ruben, it's good to see him really making a bounce back against some of these guys, too, in some ways. It's been, I think, tough with some of the new blood coming in. He was a rising talent, and now he's got a lot to deal with out here. I'm going to say, for me, I've been saying his name all year. I think he's had a tough time because he made such a big jump really quickly, and it's going to be Paul Swirsky. He's made a huge jump really quickly, and then, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you see an athlete go, and then they have this little dip. I think he's in that middle of a dip, and he's going to find the motivation, and he's going to find a foundation and balance, because when you make that big of a jump, like, you can get over motivated even, or you maybe need, I don't know, there might be something there where it's like, okay, there's more gift wrapping to unwrap there, I think, with Paul Swirsky, and I think we're going to see more from him in the future.
I think the same thing about Hayden Pucker, Nathan. What you just said, I could have absolutely mirrored for Hayden.
Yeah, that's actually a really good. And yeah, Pucker, he lives right down the road. We're having some conversations, maybe.
Yeah. The best is still to come from both of those two, Hayden and Pavel.
That's a great way to end this. The best is still to come from all the athletes and Prestige and Lead Out. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate all of you. Thank you to Dave. Thank you to Becca for the 4 races. And we will see you soon for more with Prestige. But for the Lead Out and what's coming up for events in the near future, Canadian National Championships, Maple Cup, Swedish Cup, there's a lot going on. Head over to leadoutesports.com. That is where you can find your home for cycling esports. It's definitely the place to stop and get all of your information. If you are a Canadian, you can sign up for Maple Cup and start racing that. It is a qualifier for the National Championships, which we are also hosting and will have live streams of here on Lead Out Esports YouTube channel as well as our Twitch. Obviously, Swedish Cup, SWE Cup starts next week, Monday. If you're Swedish and you've got a membership with the Swedish Federation, go ahead and jump on in. We are growing quick here. We are busy. I think I got 3 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. Pretty awesome, actually, because I am not feeling tired and absolutely enjoying it. Well, I'm Nathan Guerra. I'm your host here today, and was supposed to slow that out, but I appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us for Prestige. Thank you to Restart for putting on and all of our sponsors. Make sure to go check them out, and we will see you for Swedish Cup next week, Monday.